anyone out. He's not going to blow you away with his stuff, but the guy wins.
The guy wins, absolutely. And then because of that sinker ball, I know he keeps the ball in the park a lot, gets ground ball outs, gets games moving, gets guys back, into the dugout, things like that. So his makeup, though his actual stuff may not be as electric as Detweiler proved, especially earlier in the season, this was the right choice, and I'm okay with the choice. But what I'm not okay with is this is the first time that I've actually listened to something Davey Johnson has said and been like, I don't actually believe you, Davey. Like I think you're overemphasizing Detweiler's recent struggles just because you're looking for a reason to get the guy you wanted in there the whole time, which is fine with me. The end result's fine with me. Just a little bit of fishiness going on. I mean, at least from me, not necessarily fishiness, but a little bit of a little bit of playing the game a bit as a manager. I think, and I wonder what this is going to do to Detweiler.
That's kind of I don't think you can count on Detweiler for anything essentially the rest of the year.
But what if we don't go out and we don't get that new starter? What if an injury does happen? What if it's Jordan Zimmerman, or what if it's Edwin Jackson that goes down for a bit?
I guess us not knowing enough. We'll see what kind of guy Detweiler is. Right. This is going to be a big test for him on his psyche to see how he is.
This kind of stuff happens though, but does it happen a lot when a pitcher goes straight from the 5 to the bullpen?
Would you send Detweiler? Would you send him back to the minors?
Now that was my question. Is that a role? Is that a play where he can still go down and be a starter? Is that something you do rather than just straight move him to the bullpen? Like, are these pieces that Davey seems to have to be moving? Is it as simple as that? Is it as simple as, okay, well, no, I still want him on the roster. I still want him on the major league roster, but now he's in the pen. Someone gets hurt, we'll just move him right back up. Now it sounds that simple, but there's so much preparation and routine and psyche when it comes to baseball that it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
I guess the idea is, like, if David doesn't really think he's going to be able to use him, like if he's just going to use him sparingly as a reliever,
right? I'm a little bit questioning, not necessarily concerned, but our reliever in the bullpen right now, our long relief, who's been very good, pitched I think 4 great innings yesterday, is Tom Gorzolani. The issue there, though, is he's another lefty. So, I mean, not in long relief, obviously, the righty-lefty matchups go out the window because you pitch 3 or 4 times. But there just seems to be, a sense that now we have two long relief lefties in the bullpen. I don't know. Something. It's going to be interesting to see how everything shakes out. But ultimately, if you just flat ask me who I want there in the 5th rotation, the answer's CM Dubs. Chin-Min Wong.
So that's what we're going with?
That's what I'm going with.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, unless Davey has a spot for Detweiler, where he's going to be like
a spot and a role, like you said.
A role where he's going to be like every 2 games, 3 games, Detweiler's coming in the 7th or the 8th or whatever.
Maybe even probably earlier, probably the 6th or 7th as that. Now maybe even the middle relief.
So you're going like the 6th, 7th, and you go like a guy Burnett in the 8th and Clippard in the 9th. And that's how you're going to do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'd be okay with that. But if you're just going to essentially let the kid rot in the bullpen and just maybe randomly throw him in.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to believe that's not going to happen, especially with some of the starts that the Nationals pitchers have gotten. Because they are strikeout pitchers, their pitch counts are a lot higher. So these guys normally do only get through 5 innings, and yet they pitch gems. So that's when you bring in a guy like a Gorzolani at first, but now is it a guy like Detweiler who will come in the 6th, possibly the 7th? And look, and again, the long relief pitchers can be of use, certainly, and this is obvious, when your bullpen is hurting or tired. Instead of a different guy in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, well, now Ross Detweiler can be all 3 or 4 of those innings. Can finish up those innings, give your bullpen a rest. So we'll see. The role, the spot, and the role, I think, is going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. And I think that'll ultimately help determine whether or not this sort of switch was right and for when it happened. So moving on now, I do want to quickly, before we get to 3 up and 3 down, I want to talk about Steven Strasburg. His name's already been mentioned a few times today. Obviously, off of his win last Sunday, he then comes back with a couple starts this week. Oh no, just the one where he went the 5 innings yesterday. Gives up four earned runs, 6 hits, and strikes out 6. It's funny that they actually talked about it on Adam Kilgore. I know asked Steven after the game, and Wilkes, I don't know if you watched Strasburg start, but a lot of the times after he makes his pitches, he'll shake his arm. Did you see that?
It's never
Okay.
You're never comfortable with that.
Yes, it is a thing that freaks you out as a fan beyond belief. However, he joked about it afterwards, and he said he's just getting sweat off of his fingertips. Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't want to. He said, maybe I should stop so I don't freak you guys out.
Do you believe that?
And that's what he said. And I'm a little worried. Coming off of this bicep tightness, coming off of course, Tommy John, the most critical, surgery for a pitcher. You're starting to look at and my theme to this part of the to this segment here today is, at what percentage or out of 10, I guess, give me a number as where you think Strasburg is so far this year. If Strasburg at his prime, at his best is a 10, kind of how would you rate him so far this year on this season, given everything you've seen?
If 10 is his absolute best,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm probably saying 8, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah, for me, I think it's less than that, because I think his control's been all over the place. I think we get a little spoiled with what we've seen so far from him, but this guy's a superstar. Okay, for me, I'd put it around a 6 out of 10. That's with a couple of the bad starts, a couple of the starts where it hasn't really looked pretty. Strasburg, he's been known. I know against the Pirates, he's magical, but kind of against everybody else, he doesn't look dominant to me.
He's not pitching as deep as I thought he would.
Exactly.
I mean, you're looking at his starts. He's had, 2 7-inning games. I think 5 6-inning games.
The majority is the 6, yeah, 6 strong. Now, of course, they're being careful with him. One thing that you notice, and really with a lot of the rotation, I should say, is that these guys don't get taken out in the middle of innings. Now, I know that's Davies doing. It's also a National League thing. You obviously make changes to your pitcher after innings,
absolutely,
opposed to in the middle of innings because of the pinch hit. But still, Strasburg's never been taken out in the middle of an inning, which I think is pretty cool so far this year.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting to notice that.
He's gone 7 and he's gone 6, and the last couple starts he's only gotten through 5 and pitched 95 pitches. What that's been is his control. Look, he walked 4 batters yesterday. So, it's a very, for me, it's, that he's getting the wins, and you look at his stats, and he's 5-1 with a 2.64 ERA, has 70 strikeouts on the year. But then you start to look. I mean, each start he has, for me, it's frustrating.
I mean, if you look at these numbers, and if you look at his May numbers, that doesn't exactly it doesn't. They're not dominant.
No.
Like, if you didn't know, if I covered that up, and I didn't tell you it was Steven Strasburg and read those numbers, player A, player B type things, there's no way you'd be able to tell me that's Steven Strasburg. I mean, it's not, I mean, the 13 strikeouts, it's Pirates. We take that at what it is.
Right.
But the numbers are essentially somewhat pedestrian.
And that's kind of my point. That's kind of my point right now. And we
so
don't
probably, to be honest, now that I said that and talked that out,
maybe the 8 comes down to the 7 or 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess I don't want to necessarily ask you what do you think it is, but are you concerned at all that because of his nasty stuff, because he does throw 96 or 97, he's getting some passes at some point this year, or will we have to wait till next year? Are we going to see more Justin Verlander-ish stats where he's going 8 and 9 innings, or he's going 7 and 8 innings at least, and always striking out 7 or 8?
I mean, I guess I don't think you're going to see that this year.
Okay.
I don't think it's in the cards for him.
Right.
Even though I don't know what the difference of pitching. I know there's an inning count, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if there's like a tearaway thing in like the Nationals locker room. And they're like, Steven Strasburg has this many innings
left to go.
Innings left to go.
It's like a counter.
Yeah, they're just like I don't know if the difference between pitching him 5 versus pitching him 6, but
Right.
like you said, the pitch counts though. These last couple games,
Again, as a strikeout pitcher, they're always going to be high. But I have his location has been all over the place.
Well, you're not gonna make 7 or 8 innings when you're pitching 20. You're not gonna make it to the 7th inning when you're pitching 20 pitches an inning.
No chance.
Yeah, you're just gonna 5th, 6th inning.
So, I mean, one thing you also have to, or I guess I'll propose this as a question. Do you think it could just be a matter of him learning the game of baseball, pitching the way he needs to do day in and day out? Remember, he's only 23 years old.
Sometimes you got to pitch to contact.
Sometimes you do, and sometimes there's so many ways to. Each start is going to be different.
Absolutely.
So you have to figure that out. He's not. Is he learning maybe that his stuff alone will get most guys out, but not everybody, and it's just a matter of him needing to figure out, okay, what do I need to do today that's different from my last start to better to get these guys out. I mean, for me, maybe we are forgetting that the guy's 23 years old and coming off of a major surgery.
Absolutely.
So
That's what I said. I think it's tough to make any this year because of that innings thing, and it's kind of looming.
Right.
And it has to be looming on his head too. He has to be like, this sucks. Like, there's obviously a countdown clock on him in his own head. So, I mean, I think that you can't take much from this season, about Strasburg. Like I said, his ERA has jumped a full point this month. And that's a trend. And the 2 pitchers we've talked about, they've both, happened to Delhire, and then it's happened straight. I mean, unless the Nationals are going to score 7-8 runs like they're going to.
I'm just used. I guess even in his small amount of starts previous to this year, I'm just used to him locating his pitches so much better than he is. And I don't mean to keep pulling out that one issue, but I've actually gone on Twitter and proposed the question: is Strasburg 100% healthy right now? And you know what? He's probably not, regardless, because he's coming off surgery. But is he a little less healthy than people thought? Because sometimes with greatness, you expect greatness. You should expect greatness. So you should expect that he's hitting his spots nearly every single time. He's simply not right now. So I give him my 6 out of 10. Maybe you've taken a step back and say 7 or 6 out of 10. But let me also then, as we wrap up this segment, propose, will we see a 10 at any point from Strasburg?
Like 10 game?
10 game? No, a consistent 10.
No. I don't.
Not this year.
Not, like I said, no. Just
next year?
I mean, I hope so next year.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point. I mean, he's what? This is we're still talking 2 years. But I think the innings count, obviously, like I said, it's going to come back to that. Like you said, he's still learning. But like you said, the six inning thing might work for a little bit, but for your ace, you can't have that. You can't have 6 inning outings every.
Great. Do you think if Gio hasn't been so awesome, there'd be a little bit more talk about this, or is this year kind of that wash, kind of that? Well, guys, remember what we were getting with Strasburg here. Remember he's coming off this major surgery kind of thing.
I think it's obviously the Gio thing helps clear.
Mm-hmm.
It helps a lot because he's been eating innings. It's a tough one. I don't know because Strasburg still is pitched well. It's still there. I'm trying to look at Gio stats to see what kind of. I mean, 6 this month. It's been 6, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 6. So it's when you go 5 innings, that eats into your bullpen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially over his last 3 starts. That's as far as Strasburg's gone, and before that, just two 6 innings. So, but anyway,
I don't think it's a huge deal. But if it happens 1 or 2 more games,
so we're saying Strasburg is at about a 6 out of 10 for him right now. Where's the concern level? Is that like a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10? Maybe.
I don't think you're much concerned. I don't think you're concerned now. But if his next outing he goes 5 innings, you get
right. especially the same sort of way. It's just the 5 innings also with 100 pitches. It shouldn't be taking him 20 pitches to get through innings.
Absolutely. And I think it's also helping is that they're winning. When he's doing this and they win, it kind of hides it.
Yeah.
I agree. It masks it a lot to the point where you're like,
But it does make you feel good that these guys are getting him the wins. You know, I mean, it was 4-4 heading into the bottom of the fifth. The top of the fifth.
Especially
top of the sixth.
Especially because he got hosed. He got hosed earlier in a couple wins.
Yes,
your boy,
absolutely.
H-Rod. Our boy H-Rod screwed him twice.
So, all right. So the concern level not as high, but we also agree that we are not seeing anywhere near the Strasburg that he can be.
We're not going to go DEFCON 4 or anything, but everyone's on red alert that it's going to be something that's going to need to be talked about.
Okay. All right. Let's then quickly move into. We've actually spent a lot of time talking about this. So let's quickly move into our 3 up and 3 down, the segment we do every week, where we just highlight 3 guys that are up and 3 guys that are down. Now, with baseball terms, I don't mean literally 3 up to the majors and 3 down to the minors. But let's start always with the good. Let's start with the 3 up. And man, you know, a lot of people talk about expectations, and then when guys meet those expectations, you shouldn't really be proud of them. You know, we talked about this with our Caps argument so much, and there's a certain guy on our show that said, "Well, they did what they were supposed to do. You can't applaud them for that, or you can't go. You know, you can't. They should do more." With Bryce Harper right now, I think we need to step back and really continue to applaud this guy for what he's done and what he continues to do, given the immense expectations, even in his first couple of weeks and months as a pro bowler.
Yeah, in the article, I wrote about Bundy and how he was kind of living up to the hype. It's the hype machine can crush you, and it crushes 98% of the people. It takes a special talent to actually exceed it. You see it with a guy like LeBron James. Everyone told us he was going to be good, but no chance anyone thought he was going to be this.
Yeah.
And the guy like Harper, everyone said like the guy's good.
And
now this is
which we've talked about before. It's so awesome to see that he's not coming in and batting .220 but hitting 8 home runs. That's not what he's doing, even though he is the biggest power bat prospect since A-Rod. Okay, what he's doing is he's helping the Nationals win ball games. He's getting on base.
He's doing a little bit of everything.
That's exactly right. He's doing a little bit of. He's a jack of all trades right now. He's 10 for his last 23, 2 triples, I should say, 2 triples. Does have a home run, 5 RBIs, 4 more walks. I mean, this guy is getting on base. The Braves' Tim Hudson, as a crazy example, pitched around Bryce Harper to get to Ryan Zimmerman. So my 3 up, my number 1 for this week, and man, we might have to put him on every week just to continue to make sure that we don't forget how damn good this guy is Bryce Harper. I mean, what an addition. There shouldn't be. It shouldn't be forgotten the correlation between this team not only continuing to do well, but the runs are now here. The home runs are now here. The offense just keep the line moving kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything seems to be happening a little bit better with Harper in the lineup right in that 2 hole.
The fact that you're able to plug him, that they were able to plug him in, and they didn't have to go through like a learning curve, thing where like, all right, well, he's 1 for his last 40 or something.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's been able to contribute immediately has made all the difference. And it seems like every time he gets a hit, it's an exciting hit.
It's an exciting hit, and then he makes it even more exciting. And then if he's just on first, he'll either try and steal the base, or he always from first to third or something. It's just he's
a
special dude.
He's making every player rush. Anytime you make players rush, good things will happen. When you're making the outfielders hurry throws because you're afraid he's going to go from first to second on a routine single, he's making infielders. When he hits the ball in between short and third, they're rushing.
Yeah, and there's actually a highlight that I want to play here. Hopefully we got this queued up right. Hold on here.
Not quite ready to get into the on-deck circle. Harper gashing that ball to left. Look at it go. It's gone. Wow. Bryce Harper, a low liner, 3rd major league home run, and he is sprinting around the bases.
He just took one of the best. So two things I want to talk about there.
Does the sprint around the bases.
I do want to bring that up. It's becoming kind of his thing. His home run trot now is a sprint, his home run sprint. But did you see the home run? Did you see the fact that he went opposite field against Johnny Venters, who was one of the most unhittable left-handers of all of last season, and it was a laser beam line drive to left field? I mean, just, those sorts of things, and the reason I brought that up specifically is sort of what you said. He's doing everything, and he's doing it in a bunch of different and exciting ways. So,
I just loves hitting triples, too.
Kid's awesome.
Yeah.
Kid's awesome. Love him.
Now, does the home run trot, is the sprint, is that the equivalent to the extra slow walk?
It's almost just as bad, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think there's that happy medium where
Good.
I mean,
love it. Keep doing things differently, Bryce. Keep being Bryce. I actually tweeted this. I hate his hair right now because I want him to get another jerk haircut. I want him to just be, D-bag from top to bottom, and I actually mean that in a good way.
If you know what, if people focus on him, because I think he relishes it.
Yeah.
I think you know what, if that's how people want to do it, I mean,
he wants the stardom and everything that comes with it. You can tell that. Some people want the stardom, but not everything. So far, Bryce Harper has been okay with everything that has come with it.
Absolutely.
So, love him. Love that he's that he's one of our 3 up because he has just done so well over the last week. Also, then want to talk about Tyler Clippard. Now 3 saves in the last 3 chances. We talked last week about how I wouldn't put him there because he had found his niche in that 8th role, and the 8th role is just as important as the 9th, if you ask me. But so far, he's been asked. He stepped up and said, "Yeah, I'll take it." And so far, 3 for 3. Hasn't given up a hit yet. Struck out 4. So, the guy is getting it done. Stammen obviously came in last yesterday with a 4-run lead, but got 2 guys on base. Means now it's a save situation. Bring in Tyler Clippard. Bing, bang, boom, game over. So,
breathe easy a little bit
you feel a little bit better with him on the mound than Rodriguez, huh? just a tad. So great job, Tyler Clippard. When Storen comes back, I don't know what happens, but Tyler Clippard has done nothing to let you believe that he'll just slide right back into that 8th role and do the same thing.
Again, now when you have a guy like Clippard performing the way he is, there's no rush on Storen. Obviously, you want Storen back,
right?
Because he's a quality arm, and and obviously he's proven it that he can save games. But now you don't have to rush Storen back. Where I think if with that Rodriguez thing, now people start, not that they forget about Storen, but now the fans aren't like, we need Storen, we're Storen, we want Storen, blah blah blah. When you had H-Rod back there, everyone's like, great. But now Clippard kind of gives them, they can take their time with Storen, make sure he's completely healthy before he comes back. They don't have to, he doesn't have to come back at 70 or 80%. So, puts the Nationals in a good,
very good, yeah.
spot.
And then my last 3 up was going to be Tom Gorzelani in that sort of long inning role, which is, again, kind of the tough position you put Detweiler in. Gorzelani's done well. Over his last 7 innings, he's given up 4 hits. Did give up a home run on the 22nd to the Phils. But other than that, and I really want to highlight his game over the weekend against the Braves. Yesterday, Strasburg's, that was Detweiler's start, right? No, that was Strasburg's start. I apologize. Comes in 3 innings, didn't give up an earned run, only 2 hits, struck out 4, saved the game for Strasburg. Strasburg pitches those 5, 6, 7, and 8, taken care of by one guy. Fantastic. The 9th, he had a couple guys in there like we just talked about, but to have him to be that bridge to get all the way to the 9th
saves.
Yeah, I mean normally
it saves not even that game, but it saves arms.
Yep.
People won't appreciate how much that does for a bullpen.
Yeah,
because then you don't have to go.
Yeah, I mean normally it's a couple of different sections of the bridge that you need to get get across. Tom Gorzelani just laid down himself, just one full 3-inning section for him. So fantastic and a much needed win there for Strasburg and the Nats yesterday. So 3 up, Bryce, Tyler Clippard, and Tom Gorzelani are 3 down. Got to talk about my boy Adam LaRoche again, man, because it is now getting to the point that you're saying, man, does he need a day off? Does he need what's going on? He
has 2 hits in his last, I can't even, since the Baltimore series.
28 at bats. 2 for his last 28.
And it's, you kind of talked about guys like that reverting, reverting
back to their means. And this guy is a streaky player, but man, I guess my just very quickly, this is now when we could say, Michael, is it June 8th yet? Morse, are you back? Because having him sitting there in the 5th spot, a little bit better than a 4th spot that now is all of a sudden becoming even more important to this team because Harper seems to always be on base and Ryan Zimmerman's starting to hit the ball better again. So now he's getting opportunities that he needs to start coming through on, and he's not doing it. It almost seemed like before the season, or earlier in the season, little less expectations, a little less pressure almost, and he was tearing the cover off the ball. But now things are starting to happen. Now he's getting guys on first and second and almost all, and he's not coming through. But he actually, you know what? He did used to come through with guys in score position. He finally got a double yesterday. That was another big one to bring Zimmerman home, I believe. So
yeah, but 2 for 28, it's not gonna
get it done.
No, not especially a team that can't afford guys like him to go 2 for 28.
Right. So we already talked about Ross Detweiler, his struggles over the last couple of days. I put him on the down because he's probably just in a down mood. He probably is in a probably is in a down mood. I don't know.
Put him on the down. Only he's rubbing.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm. I'm not sure how he's feeling. And then finally, because this team's playing so well, and we talked about it off air a little bit, how it's sort of tough to talk bad about a team that's 28-18.
It's weird because when I was coming over, when I was on my way over here, it's kind of talking about so that's the thing about what we're going to talk about. And I said it's tough when they're playing well.
Yeah,
it's we talk about on our show on Tuesdays how we talk about the Redskins were bad. It's easy,
right?
They just give you material. Same thing with the Wizards
But for this one, Nats win again. Espinoza played well. Desmond had a pretty good at bat. This guy did pretty well, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
But, so when I was going through my 3 down,
you
I said,
almost don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
When they're playing well, you're just kind of like, all right.
So one is a guy that is on the down just because he simply went down, and I also want to talk about Chad Tracy because he literally went down. Pulled his groin after yet another. Of course, he'd be somebody maybe even on the up because he just continues to come in and produce.
It's a great thing to have off your bench.
But unfortunately, who knows how long we're going to be without him now. Now, it's not as we sit today. It's Sunday morning again. We're not sure if he's going to need any a DL spot. I definitely think he will be. Did not look good when rounding first base when he pulled his groin. If it's any sort of tear, of course, he's probably out for a while. And you just hate to see that from somebody who has been so darn good for you off the bench. The Goon Squad will be without their leader if he's gone for any certain amount of time. But it's a situation where if it's not him, somebody's got to come in. I know Mark DeRosa is going to be back soon. I believe so. It's gonna be tough to replace that bat off the bench. But
you do get worried about a guy who he's a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take him a little bit longer than
to recover, absolutely.
Some of these young guys.
Now to add to the Mike Morris, Jason Worth, Wilson Ramos, now you talk about your top bench guy.
What? It's just like it's just another thing.
It's another person that needs to be replaced.
And you just sit there, you're like, can we catch a break? Just one.
Yeah.
Just catch one break.
Yeah. So those are our 3 down. We had to get a little fancy with it because again, there's not a whole lot of bad to talk about with the Nationals right now, sitting at 28-18. But now let's quickly go through the next week. We talked about how this NL East swing, whether it's a roadie or at home, is going to be so important. Now what I consider to be the red hot Marlins. We have a 3-game set with them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Where we got to figure out how to tame Giancarlo Stanton, who is just tearing the ball to shreds. So that'll be important, and I believe it is just the second series we'll have with the Marlins. The first series was just a 2-game series, if I'm not mistaken. The Sunday game of that series was rained out. So we're 2-0 against them. Need to keep up that success. It'll be Jordan Zimmerman. It'll be Edwin Jackson, and it'll be Chin-Min Wong. So, I mean, you talk about a series where, things could change quickly. Obviously, your 3, 4, and 5 guys are the guys that your opponents want to face. The Marlins catch a break by they don't have to face Strasburg or Gio. So we'll see. Those guys need to continue to play well down in Miami, where the bats are starting to come alive for the Marlins, and then we will have Strasburg and Gio back for 3 more at home against the Braves next weekend. So more NL East foes. More time for us to figure out where we are with this team. It sort of all comes back to that original point. I know we're the hunted, but are we the most feared? If we come up once again and continue to do what we're doing, at some point the tides are going to turn, and the Nats are going to be the team that now nobody wants to face.
So we said last Sunday in this 6-game stretch,
3-3 would have been good.
We said 3-3 would be good.
Yep.
I think we might have to raise our.
They're now 4-1. Yeah.
4-1.
You want to win each series.
Absolutely.
You want to win each series.
I will ask again for this Miami Atlanta, six games.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
that's 6 games. Yeah.
Three.
I say 3-3 because you're not sure what you get with Chin Min Wong in his first start back. You have a Marlins team that's hitting the ball well in their home park. They're starting to figure that park out. You figure you take one from them, and then once you get your Strasburg, Gio, and Zimmerman 1-2-3 punch over the weekend against the Braves, you want to take 2 or 3 from them. So another 500 week, you stay 10 games over 500.
Absolutely,
I'll take it. At least 10 games over 500. I guess that'll all depend on tonight's Gio Brandon Beachy matchup. So
prediction tonight.
I think finally with the way it's set up, Gio being the one to get the sweep, Sunday Night Baseball, he gets it done. I don't know if McCann's playing tonight. Freddie Freeman, I believe, was out again yesterday. So they got some guys injured and ailing as well. But the Nats bats are alive right now, man, and I think we do it again tonight. I think we sweep the Braves and go to 29 and 18.
All right.
So, John, thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.
It was fun again. What did we cover today? We covered Nats, hunted and feared. Talked about the Detweiler and Chin Min Wong situation in Strasburg. Not only where he's at, but if there's any sort of fear to be had. We did 3 up and 3 down, and we looked at the week ahead. So, I'm excited. I'm as I know you are to watch your Orioles play. I'm excited each and every night now to watch the Nationals play.
It's just nice being able to watch 2 good baseball. That at any point, I can watch a solid baseball being played. We're not, last year and years past where it's like, oh, which terrible game.
Exactly.
But now it's fun when you can turn on the TV and you can see a win.
Yep.
Or at least the possibility. That's all you ask for.
Got it. All right, so for Wilkes, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much. Always check us out at ballhogsradio.com. The Nats, the Red Porch Report is part of the Ball Hogs Radio Network. That's where you download our podcast from in case you want to tell your friends. And on iTunes. And, of course, Ball Hogs Radio is live every Tuesday night from 7 to 10. So we appreciate it. From Natstown. Have a great week, guys. See ya.